Good morning, Paul. Today is Thursday, June 22nd, and here's the heads up briefing for today. In Australasia and the Pacific Islands, we covered 4 issues. In North Asia, we covered 7 issues. In Southeast Asia, we covered 22 issues. In South Asia, we covered 18 issues, along with the major developments in the EMEA region.
Okay, excellent, Basil. Great. Thanks. Go ahead.
Starting off with the APAC region, in PNG, a fighting zone was declared in Wapanemanda in the Enga province after 10 people were killed over the past week. The declaration of a fighting zone authorizes security personnel to conduct raids and arrests without an official complaint or warrant.
Okay, excellent. Obviously, there's massive security issues and a lack of capacity through a lack of government budgeting and commitment to peace and security. It's a massive concern for any investors in the country. Clearly, the government, other than giving it lip service and popularity and wearing suits for photo shoots, has no ability to govern appropriately, to establish stability, to invest in its army and police. Manning, the head of police, as I mentioned, is an incredibly capable guy, but no police force can operate without funding, without reserve forces, without a good strategic plan, and without government committed to it. And if top government officials are not committed to it, you have ongoing security issues. We'll work on your pronunciation of that location after this call. Please go ahead.
Sure, Paul. In Laos, the government has ordered the use of the Lao currency KIP for transactions within the Golden Triangle Special Economic Zone instead of the Chinese yuan and Thai baht that have been commonly used in the area.
Okay, look, it's interesting. Of course, the Laos Special Economic Zone has all kinds of problems within it. It's got Australian, Thai, Chinese, I should say Australian, Chinese, Thai, Chinese, and Chinese via Hong Kong and various entities they own operating in that special economic zone. It has a very sordid background, and the governance from Laos above it is perhaps therefore linked to the sordid way it's operating. There's all kinds of prostitution, wildlife smuggling, drug conduits from various suppliers going through that special economic zone. I would call it a special criminal zone. Very interesting indeed. Yet another piece of brilliant governance by the Lao government to actually decide that their currency would be favourable for transactions. I mean, would you happen to know off the top of your head the where that currency's gone, say, in the last few years?
Yes, Paul. So over a 5-year period, the Lao KIP has lost 54% of its value against the US dollar. For comparison, in June 2018, 100,000 Lao KIPs were worth $11.8, while currently the same amount are worth $5.4 US.
Okay, well, there you go. So we're going to, in 5-year period, our currency's halved, but we're going to want people to take our currency, or it just doesn't make sense. So thank you. Let's keep an eye on that. But again, get it databased, because the Lao government, special economic zone, and all the shenanigans that are going through that, which is basically an illegitimate haven for the criminals trading via the Golden Triangle. So we really need to make sure that that's database, because it's another evidence of Lao government involvement. Thank you.
Yes, sure. In Thailand, it seems that the House Speaker issue between the Move Forward Party and the Pheu Thai is not yet resolved. Several PTP MPs want the House Speaker to be from their party, and the MFP is adamant on taking the role.
Yeah, look, I mean, ultimately, oil and water don't mix, especially when the old mix part of that water, which was Pheu Thai's, obviously been in a lot of problems via the Thaksin family wanting to replace the royal family with their own grandeur. And of course, now you've got the up-and-coming Kun Peter at the Move Forward Party wanting to effect change, but he's gone in there breaking basic electoral roles by owning shareholders in media, and also by talking to Thaksins, which is the royal family and the status quo in the military, is public enemy number one. So he's showing arrogance and political ineptness. All he had to do was do the right thing, keep clean, and would have made it a lot harder to unseat him. I think it's good for the country that he's not wanting to get Thaksin's family in positions of, or Thaksin controlled members of the family, but they're more likely to be members of the family, i.e. his daughter, because he wasn't able to get her into prime ministership. The fact that Thaksin's actually talking about coming back to Thailand, his daughter's saying he's going to be back, outlines that side of the equation's arrogance, if not stupidity. But when you think you're bigger and better and untouchable, that's the sort of statements you make. So I think this is going to be very interesting at what point the government says, all right, enough's enough, let's pull the pin on Kun Peter and the Move Forward Party. He had such a good opportunity to affect change, but left himself vulnerable. It's like a boxer challenging for the world title, but going out and deciding he's so good, he's just going to leave his hands down by his thighs. Guess where he ends up? On the mat. And I think that's where Kun Peter's going. Thank you.
Moving over to South Asia. In Pakistan, the government is expected to finalize a new deal with the United Arab Emirates government by this month over the operation, maintenance, investment, and development of the Karachi port in Sindh province.
Look, and many years ago, we did a long and protracted job at the port. I won't utilise various names that were involved, but it was close protection for about 18 months using special forces guys from abroad, Western countries, to run command over local special protection teams from Pakistan to ensure that the protection of a CEO that had found massive local partner theft in the tune of millions against the operations. And of course, that particular person was an army general, and the accounting auditor wearing the tag CEO big noted himself and accused an army general of theft whilst he was still sitting in Karachi port. They're not one of the most brilliant pieces of eloquence or forward thinking, but it just goes to show not much changing. And the Pakistani military and its ability to dislodge and prevent the formation of a true democracy, unlike some of the other fiascos we have over here in Southeast Asia, isn't leading to development or a great outcome for the country. It's not really giving stabilisation. It's not giving accountability of government. It's suppressing women. It's got a terrible education system. And so unless they're involved in making money, no one really benefits. It's sad, but it is what it is. Let's just keep close eye on it, because at some point the pressure's building up there, and when pressure builds up and there's no release valve, kaboomba. Thank you.
Also in South Asia, Afghanistan has shifted its fuel procurement from Iran to Russia and Uzbekistan due to the Taliban's changing preferences.
Okay, very interesting. Thank you.
Moving over to EMEA, in France, at least 37 people were injured in an explosion at an American fashion school in central Paris yesterday. The cause remains unknown, but it doesn't seem to be terrorism so far.
Now, of course, it's like almost certainly going to be gas explosion, however, or if whatever chemicals they may utilise in their process. But let's keep an eye on it and just update me once we know the actual cause of that. I'd like to know the exact location. Wait, Dave, just get the distribution team to knock me up a map and send it to me, okay?
Sure, Paul, we'll do that.
And don't distribute that until you've got both pieces of information, okay? Know the location, but want more info on the cause. I don't want it two snippets, okay?
Okay, sure. In Russia and Ukraine, the Ukrainian president's chief of staff, Andriy Yermak, yesterday said Ukraine expects to be offered membership of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization next month.
Okay, very interesting. It's a classic where this is all going and the reasons for it. And if anyone hasn't worked it out yet, they're never going to. So there are still people out there that believe Zelensky, Ukraine, America, and NATO are wonderful little angels wearing pink leotards and dancing on a ballerina's platform at the age of 7. Hopefully, humanity will get past their abject innocence and stupidity before we go down and have a Europe versus the East war, which is what they're hoping for across the Pacific Ocean. What they may have worked out is they're no longer able to project power and win wars across the world, despite having lost so many already. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Paul.